Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Magic Doubles Machine. Just kidding. Oh my goodness, everything's going crazy. What is this? This is a daily brief recap brought to you by the good people at Doubles Are Us, where you can get all the doubles you want for half the price. Man, what a crazy ass market this is. Obviously, today's a big event for crypto fans. ETH has had its official CME coming out party, and I thought it was funny. Turns out my old prop firm, they have like a daily video that they put out now with one of their veteran traders. And I was going to go on this morning and tease him about beach balls and ETH balls now, but he was MIA today. I suppose in his old age he's allowed to take a few days off here and there. But anyway, hugs and kisses out to you, John. We even on the daily brief, or the broiler chicken show yesterday, we even played your soundbite. Good morning and meow. It's fascinating how the market's acting here. I mean, that's not exactly the most robust of bullish of images from our breadth indicators. But at the same time, too, man, the market is like the junior market. It feels like it's trying to play catch-up or something here right now. Which, I mean, make hay while the sun's shining, I suppose. A lot of fast signals. Look how the fast signal here on the crypto market broke higher. And, of course, that's been leading the charge of late, it feels like. Actually, I haven't even really looked at it this morning, but we probably ought to take a look at things like who's actually driving the bus today in the market. Yeah, there's good old Bitcoin hitting new highs. The Bitcoin kid's going crazy. There's oil making new highs. Jesus Christ, look at oil go there. Stocks breaking out. I do believe this is a risk-on environment. Fascinating, though. Look how the risk offers are actually all catching a little bit of a bid here today, too. This is almost like it's an everything on kind of market. These can get a little bit dangerous because somebody's right here, and eventually one will W out and one will M out, and maybe we have to go back the other direction for a while. I'll tell you, this has been pretty much one directional. And actually, what's really interesting was I was curious as to what was going on here in the Bitcoin through the month of January, but it turns out Mr. Musk was coming in here on the buy side pretty hard. So I guess it does explain to a certain degree some of its outperformance of late. But anyway, sounds to me like he's jumped on the bandwagon full-heartedly. I'm actually a little disappointed. They got the pump train going pretty darn good on that Doge, and I was just waiting for my next sells. But if he's going to switch his tune and now he's going to be all rah-rah Bitcoin, maybe I'm not going to get my further fills. It's funny, right? Because he's got what is it, Snoop Dogg and that Gene Simmons guy, all coming in on the long side up here. Come on, guys, pump this thing a little bit more, please. A little disappointed there, but oh well, it is what it is. I suppose I'll live with my gains if that's it. But it sounds to me like right now the pump train is rocking on the Bitcoin media networks here today. The only problem I have with this, of course, is you zoom out on an image like this. Actually, this probably isn't the best. This is our day trader screen, but I think actually, yeah, this is the image I already had ready to go for you. I don't know. Now, an RSI is not making new highs, but price is. You all know what this is. So it's not really like I need to remind you about things like divergence. But, how on earth can you justify coming in and buying an asset that's way up here? I don't know how people do it, but rock on. I mean, if you came in here and you said, to hell with you, Brian, I like this idea, I want to come in, yeah, you're getting paid. So rock it, own it. You are the man. Actually, I even publicly said, if I was a trader and I was trading this particular product, I'd take a short shot against these highs. Man, I would have been stopped out. I'm not actually trading Bitcoin right here. So I also, too, in this kind of environment, Jupiter, Saturn cross, COVID, all this Fed printing press and all that kind of stuff, I don't know whether this shit's even done. It's not investable for a guy like me. There's no way I could come in on the buy side. But you guys want to keep taking this stuff higher. I got lots of stock to sell. We did actually force ourselves to come in on the buy side when everything was just the poops there. And I was actually pretty pleased to see. I mean, they've turned Maurer around. They broke it to new highs. You can see where my next sell level is. I'm all ready. Just like Doge, you want to pump this thing higher, I'm more than happy to sell you more stock up top. And actually, I was pretty pleased to hear that Kevin actually told me that he's actually still long a whack of this riot. So way to go, Kevin. I got the impression you got flushed out of the story, so I'm actually pretty pleased to hear that. And actually, ironically enough, of the triumvirate here, this one actually just did a big financing at $5, $6. So they do have actual justification for holding price in at these levels. So this, if there was a trade that I'd be hunting in the blockchain space within Stockland, that's probably something I might consider. But I don't know. It just feels like coming awfully late to this story. I'll leave the rest of those. Like I said, I got tons of this. In fact, you can see I got filled on one sell order here for TRI, and in my personal account, I have another sell order sitting here that never was filled. So you want to take this thing higher, I'll be more than happy to sell you more stock. Blah, 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 blah. But look at this screen. This is insanity. I mean, look at some of these names. I mean, this is ridiculous. What's going on here? This is nuts. I mean, they always say, make hay while the sun's shining. Look at this crazy ass one. I might get filled here while I'm talking to you. This is nuts. But, I mean, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'll take the money. But, wow. I mean, blockchain banks. Look at that crazy ass move. Unfortunately, on something like this, I gotta say, you gotta pay yourself here. And we had one guy on this site. This is so funny. We had one guy on this site who bought the stock down here in a registered account, and I sold like an idiot here. What a doofus, eh? I sold everything. I should have just sold half and sell half on double, blah, blah, blah. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. It doesn't matter. But it was so funny. He came into the lounge today, and I think he said he bought it in a registered account, and he's getting into trouble with the Canadian regulators because this asset priced in US dollars has tilted his foreign exposure over the threshold that he's allowed to own foreign equity in his registered account here in Canada, which is hilarious. Oh, I guess I'm just going to have to sell some to make sure the regulators are happy. Oh, this crazy market. I mean, there's even ideas coming in just even as we speak. I mean, look at this chart. There's a lot of money to be made out there, folks. I mean, you can have fun in crypto. I think there's money to be made in crypto. Actually, this one here, I got a double off here this morning for one account. And I got another account that's working an order at 110, so I wouldn't mind getting filled on that too, please. One actually stock, and this is a kind of name that I really like that I'd like to get a fill on it because we teach this setup in the school program, and this was tough coming in on these travel stocks because I did take a long shot on CCL, but I got stopped out on this. So, great testament to just stay focused, keep hunting your setups, and, this is a setup that we took right afterward that seems to be working quite nicely. Again, like I showed you on a few of those, I've got my orders working at my levels. For a guy like me, it's really all I got to do is just leave it alone, just let it work. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm basically working my order right at Mr. Tesla's number there, so hopefully I'll get a fill there. But wow, what a crazy ass market this is. Junior stocks, a lot of these VCIMers are just going a little bit poop crazy here this morning as well. So it's not. It really seems to be really concentrated on the junior market right now, which is, I mean, that's actually what's supposed to happen. Big fear, greed cycle pivots. Basically they were giving these stocks away. I mean, this funny story. The irony of it all is that our VCIM group that meets every Tuesday, we were actually seriously, well, I don't know whether the group was, but I was seriously considering stepping in and picking some of this up right through there. And actually, I did a fun little video on YouTube, the walkthrough of how this trade should have gone. Anyway, somebody was asking me recently, well, Brian, do you think it's ready to step back in on this thing? And I'm like, no, just leave it alone. It's yesterday's story. Don't touch it. So the point being that at this point, of course, it was a piece of shit stock, $2 a share. Nobody wanted it, right? And then it starts cleaning itself up, and look what can happen. So I don't think it actually should really surprise us that the venture market is coming alive, because, this is the irony of the junior market. And actually, Kevin likes to talk about this. He's been really jazzed by this. You have to understand that the junior equity market through that whole fear cycle just got destroyed. I was a stockbroker in the junior market all through this. This was basically, you can see, junior market tops out basically right at the Summer Olympics, with China building out their economy. And this is the aftermath of China building out their economy on the Western capitalist society. Isn't that fascinating? So literally, they've just risen from the dead here. That's really what's going on here with the junior market. I mean, keep in mind, the stock market, it doesn't look like this. It looks like this. So why do these look so different? And the answer is, of course, that junior stocks are heavily leveraged, heavily skewed to the cycle. And, of course, at the top here, they were all loaded up with debt, and a lot of them went bankrupt through this. And then, of course, last March was sort of the catalyst where the central bankers go, don't worry about debt. That doesn't mean anything. And woohoo! Oh, look at this one, Kevin. Are you in this one? Jesus, look at it taking off here. I mean, look at this market. This is insane. You better get some orders working, dude. I think it's gone past our bot objective. You know what? I think I'm gonna end this video because I gotta go see if I gotta do some business. Hey, my broker's asking me, "Are you still here? Are you still here?" They timed out my page. Oh, God, this is nuts. This is absolutely crazy. I'm supposed to be giving you value here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here today. I mean, this market is just insanity. I mean, what do you say to an image like that? You say, a Bitcoin! At a ETH, their IPO event, sort of coming out party on the CME. Is this not perfect? I mean, this is absolutely perfect. You couldn't script this shit any better. Oh, goodness. Crazy world. Okay, let's get serious, Brian. Come on. She's wasting all these people's time. Okay, U.S. dollar index. Looks like we got a bit of a railroad tracks. I'm hearing more traction about, okay, we're going to get this damn stimulus package going and flood the market with Fakezi, Burr, all that kind of stuff. And actually interesting because I had this fun Burr study going on Bitcoin. And, I hope I didn't get rid of it. Yeah, here. And I noticed that the Burr machine actually kind of slowed down there a bit. So from the end of January, the Burr machine slowed down. I think this was all around, everybody was like, okay, yeah, we got this, we got our puppet running the White House now. So the bankers got green light. Let's get this fucking thing jazzed. Everybody's getting ready for it. And then the Republicans in the U.S. kind of went, and the Senate kind of went, we're going to resist here a little bit. And I wonder whether we get back to the Burr machine really rocking and rolling. That's an interesting comment that this is actually happening. That surprises me. I'm going to keep an eye on this. We might find that the Burr story, which of course everybody in the public knows and they've been brainwashed, that is the dogma. Does that make for good investing for the future, for tomorrow? What's going to happen going forward, not thinking backwards? Maybe the Burr machine is done. There's a controversial statement. Wow. Who knows? Anyway. So, U.S. dollar here in the short term. Railroad tracks. Railroad tracks is confirmed now, so we're definitely coming off. My little trend line trader guy, he would just say, okay, watch this trend line. If we put an M in below this trend line, then she's toast. So we'll see how we act right now. And, could we have another swim against these lows? Keep in mind, these bottoms in these international currency markets, they're never easy. They're always uglier than sin. So look how they put this bottom in the last go round, right? So we have the bottom come in. Hey, there's railroad tracks. There's a double bottom. Hey, Beamish says we're bullish, and then fuck you, right? And it turns out, okay, there's the bottom, right? So could we have another week or two of this kind of stuff still here? Sure. Notice middle of February. What a coincidence. February 16th. We might want to mark that on our calendars. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like that through the middle of February there. So that's interesting how that's popped up there. So, be forewarned. The currency shifts. The message I'm trying to tell people through when I get like, I'm 15-year U.S. dollar bullish. I'm not really too jazzed, too wrapped up in the short term. What I really want to sort of see is that longer term shift. I mean, regardless of whether you're a bull or a bear, I think when you look at this image, what you should see is trading range. Bottom end of the range, top end of the range, right? And you can even see top end of the range, top, bottom, bottom. That would just generally say that the statistical odds of us going through the bottom end of the range are probably less than us coming back, doing 50% bounces, putting in a big old M, and then continuing our way down, if this is actually a bear. So that's, I guess, the way I'm looking at this right now. One guy I highly respect, and I was sharing it in the lounge this morning. Thank you. I think it was Jonathan sent me the link this morning on Twitter. One gentleman I highly respect in the market is a gentleman by the name of Stanley Druckenmiller. And I guess the way I look at it with Stanley is he's got his, where the hell is it? Goddamn. Have you noticed his algo ran? Jesus, we were looking at the numbers. We've done rather well on that trade. But sorry, that was on the screen. You're probably like, why the hell is that on screen? How did I put that damn link? I think maybe it's over here. Good old Stanley. Where's Stanley? And I like his take. Here it is. So do yourself a favor and go and watch this video. I like the way that he's thinking. And he's basically said, look at it. I got my bets hedged. I'm short bonds. Poor Bond King. He might get into trouble. I like that idea of short bonds, looking for higher yields. But also, too, he's long commodities. And he feels as though the Fed monetizing the balance sheet, we're basically mortgaging our future. And, I've talked to you guys about it. You may have Bitcoin $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million, but you go to the grocery store and a loaf of bread's $500 a loaf. And you go, oh, geez, thanks. So it's all relative, right? And that's, that M2 picture I like to show you guys. And then that's a question of the Burr machine and all that. But he's basically said, look, I'm playing both sides. I'll be short the bonds, looking for economic growth, but I'm also long the commodities because I'm not really a fan of the value of these currencies. And I kind of like that thinking. Interestingly enough, with the US dollar index, this isn't really a commentary on that. That would be sort of like your US dollar versus the price of gold, or US dollar versus the price of Bitcoin, or US dollar versus the price of stocks. I think like all of them are going to move up. Why? Because the US dollar itself is less valuable. This DXY is the dollar index, or it is in essence a basket of all these fugazi fiat currencies that are all constantly rebalancing against each other. And that's what I'm probably more bullish on, is the relative value of the fiat garbage. I like the US shit better than I would like, say, the Canadian shit, or the European shit, or the Japanese shit. That's probably the best way to look at an image like this right now. And, you know, if we get up into 50% rules and we start emming out, then it'll probably mean that the US shit is maybe looking a little less attractive relative to, say, the European shit. Because really, this index, like something like 65% of it is just literally the euro. So in essence, if I'm actually thinking bullish here, what I'm really saying is I'm thinking bearish euros. So think of it that way as well. Having said that, I still am I guess now, this cycle started in 2018, so 17 and a half years, 2035. So 2035 and a half, somewhere in there, that's when I'll actually switch to actually being bearish of this thing. That's assuming it even exists. Then we're all going to be trading Musk coins, right? Isn't that how it goes? Who knows? Okay, so there's my rant about the US dollar. In the short term, with the railroad tracks, this actually should be a risk-on proxy vote. I guess you are actually kind of seeing that. Stocks pressing higher. The junior stock market just going absolutely insane here. And crude oil prices. And this is worrisome, you know. Crude oil prices. At some point, somebody's going to look around and go, holy shit, do you see how expensive crude's getting again? So, I don't know, do it as you please. Of course, all the TRIers who took the oil trades, they're just laughing at me every day. Yeah, Brian, yeah, sure you're an oil bear. Yeah, get off your political soapbox. Just take the fucking trades, damn it. But, you know, I'm a weirdo that way, right? I won't buy a China stock. You all know how I feel about totalitarian dictatorships. Well, to a certain degree, it's the same thing with the crude. I would much rather put my money to work in something like an electrical vehicle company. Tesla? Oh, maybe. Except it's a little expensive. But we got a bunch of little EV stocks around the site. Solar energy, whatever. But that's because I believe that every dollar I spend in the market is a little vote on my part. So I vote not to participate in China with my money. That's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right or wrong. It's just how you feel. And I'm not telling you, and you can clearly see my political bent on oil. Actually, you know, if I was in this just for pure profit, well, my manager would look at me and say, you missed an opportunity there, sir. You're fired. Nah, maybe not. I mean, I made some great money in other places. Our penny stocks. Oh, Jesus. So maybe I keep my job for another day. Bonds, like I said, you know, in the face of this, nasty looking chart. Now the bond market has actually gone and confirmed this huge M. See how we broke through that low there? 174.20. There's still a bit of a fight going on at that level. That's pretty darn important. If stocks do kind of top out here, maybe she can reclaim that level. But I'll tell you, she's flirting with disaster here. Because you can see that not only is that an important level from that perspective, but it was also, you know, a historic breakout. You know, this is the Wyckoff check of that event. Boom. So if this is truly a bull market, we should check this level and not come back to it. Uh-oh. Came back to it. Are there still some buyers here? Yep, there's still some buyers here. Came back to it. Are you sure there's buyers here? Well, it looks like we're chewing through those bids pretty hard. The sellers are kind of taking over here. So, my thoughts on the long-term interest rate cycle. So, this is a tough sell to be like bullish of bonds. It's kind of the same thing. I hate to say it, guys. It's the same thing actually of a lot of stuff in this market. Unless I see value, and if I'm investing in like a commodity or something, I see it like at or near cost of production, it's a tough sell. You better show me one hell of a damn good looking chart. Unfortunately for the gold, sort of the same thing. Now we have lower highs and lower lows. We haven't taken out this low. If we do, and considering that low in the bond market, I wouldn't be surprised if that is coming. That's not overly enthusiastic, let's put it that way. As I've said quite a bit, the message that I like to give to the public is if I was going to see a bottom in any particular commodity, I want to see a bottom in the stocks. So probably the way that I would interpret this is I'd really like to see these guys, these gold stocks and silver stocks, all start to stabilize and sort of clean up and get back in. I don't see that. I see a lot of volatility here. It looks like we could have another swing back up on this bad boy. This is a silver proxy, but this looks messier than hell, and you can see I'm gone. I'm not in this anymore. Something like Agnico Eagle, which is a pretty good proxy in the gold space. We're not, we've done some major technical damage breaking through that level there. And, you could argue that we have pretty solid downtrend lines working here. Boom, 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 boom. For this to be a bull, you can see how important this level here is. We're just now coming back into it. But for me to be a bull here, I got to see it back above. Then nice W and away we go. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done for me to turn back bullish here. So, not a bad 3-day rally, don't get me wrong, but did you have the balls to step in there? And are you taking profits here? This kind of looks like a big megaphone to me, eh? Can you see that? So, ironically enough, not really a big surprise that we've rallied back up into here. So, anyway, nothing to do there. But what's fascinating about this is these stocks look like shit. And you go down to the junior market. Hey, look at that. I had a bunch of sell orders on this thing working. So looks like I had an order at 110. So I'll have to go see whether I got filled on that. I had other orders slightly below. 109 to 110. So I don't know whether I got filled there or not. But anyway, where is that going? That's probably not the one I want to show you. These junior gold stocks, man, they still look like people want to come in on the buy side here, which kind of leads me to believe that we're probably not done. Probably like the Bitcoin, right? We're going to be in this massive range, and while we're in that range, any of you that are crypto aficionados, while we're in that range of Bitcoin finding its top and all that kind of stuff, the little ones, they all play huge catch-up, right? Which leads me to believe that this summer is going to be insane in the altcoin space. God. The problem here is what's the value of money, but go out there and make just a shitload of money here, folks. This is the window. Once the Fed pulls the plug, says, all right, it's time to clean things up, we're going to see a lot of unwinding. But anyway, I wanted to show you the VCIMers that are all perking up here because they still look very, very strong. Where the hell's the damn list? Where are you, V? There they are. Look at Jugga. Yeah, fucking Jugga. And you tell me, does this thing have any more room to move up here? So that doesn't look to me, with your violent gap higher like that and no selling. Like they jumped the stock up first thing this morning and nobody has come out, which tells me that this thing's going a hell of a lot higher if it can't find any sellers here. And, you know, a lot of these little junior ones just look like they're just ready to explode, which would make sense, right? The senior market's been bid up. Junior market's been in the, you know, mothballs for the past 5-10 years. They're playing catch up here. You know, this was our McCrazy Felspar stock. Actually, I mean, I certainly wouldn't come in on the buy side there, but it looked like they were getting ready to push him higher this morning. This one actually is a recent VCIMers. They just put it in here. There's a bunch of these that still look, you know, like they could do something. Which is the one? There was one this morning that I was getting all excited about. I mean, look at them. They're all just sitting there ready to go. And I've seen this kind of environment before where, you know, these things, you know, buy when it snows. You know how the game goes. And they're probably going to bunch them up into the spring. Here's a couple little ones. These aren't really mining related, but, you know, again, great anecdote on the junior piece of crap market, which, you know, you should look at these kind of stocks and go, well, is there something in crypto that's similar if you're a crypto fan? Of course, it's the shitcoins, right? Some shitcoins charts just look absolutely perfect here. So, yeah, crazy market. I'm just seeing if I got any more fills. I mean, look at these percentage moves. This is nuts. So, look at this crazy mogo. I bought this thing down here. I got to sell some more soon. Yeah, better make sure I get orders working. Oh, I think actually this one's coming into a selling level soon. Well, all right. All right, I'm wasting everybody's time. Sorry. Actually, Jamie was on the call here today doing a presentation. He reminded me of this one. Maybe I'll put it back to a regular chart. I'm probably going to take that bot. It's a good-looking trade. I'm not in this stock. I want to be in it. So there's stuff setting up. SLGG. This is another one of Jamie's. When I'm done this video, I have to do a banging out doubles tweet. I got a nice fill up here on this one here today. We bought it down off the W down here. Beautiful trade. Just really, really pretty stuff. Oh my goodness, look at that thing go. I sure hope I had my open orders working. So, you know, sometimes it's actually not good for me to do these videos because I have to spend a half an hour just blabbing away and not getting anything done trading wise. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, back to our story. Once upon a time. Oh yeah, we were talking about the bond market. I forgot about that. How long have I been going on here? I got a funny feeling this is going to be one of these crazy long rants. Actually, I'm just about done. So, junior stock market. I've shown you lots of stories. Man, just going crazy today. Make hay while the sun's shining. Heading on over to crypto. I was interested. You know, like I said, had I taken a short off this candle body high, I would have been stopped out there. You know, it is what it is. Interesting how we've kind of stalled out here a little bit. This is actually now something that probably higher up people are going to be paying attention to. This move to new highs now is on a complete momentum divergence here. So kind of dangerous. Is this thing done? I don't know. If anything, what would be kind of cool, I suppose, that kind of set up the altcoin market for some orgy kind of thing. It'd be kind of cool if we did something like that over the next few months. But I wouldn't have any trade setups here. And I think I've told you all the way up here. Unfortunately, after like Kevin did his fucking killer buy here, and I remember back in the winter time, we were talking about Colin's buddies and stuff, and we were looking for banging out doubles through here. That was really fun. Then through this consolidation, we had people like John Bollinger and stuff get all excited about crypto and Bitcoin. You can see the W's coming in on RSI with trendline breaks and all that. There was a great signal there. Then we had a nice jump up, then a pullback. Things look kind of toppy, but then, you know, and this is a good anecdote of you just never know what the hell's going to happen in this game. And the bulls and bears are constantly at war with each other. So here's a really good example where you can see there's kind of like a head and shoulders top that came in here. Boom, boom, something like this. I'm just going to roughly do it like that. All right, something like that. But then notice, boom, and actually it might have even hit that objective. I don't know. But notice, just right after that, the market stopped going down, and you could argue, well, it kind of looks like it's doing the other thing, going the other direction. It's not the best looking chart, but nonetheless, something like that. And fascinating, you can kind of see that what happened here was there was sort of a line in the sand drawn in the marketplace, right? Something like somewhere along there. So the market kind of like probably got exhausted. RSI, look at that RSI div. Right? Are we doing this? Is this us right now here, RSI wise? You see that? And you see that? Looks kind of similar, right? Just be forewarned, people. Then the market breaks, and then it actually, you can see that, and that really, I might argue, there was the buy signal, that candle right there. But it pretty much just sort of said, no, to hell with you. I don't like this top. I actually like a bottom off that exact same level. So, the people that are, professional traders, whatever the hell that means, they probably looked at this and went, yeah, I sold some there. And now I got to go and buy exactly that position right back there. Yeah, it's kind of a cool image. Anyway, that's here nor there. And also, too, our RSI kind of thinking, if you see divergence, just be careful. We have indicators like our Williams percentage R that we teach students to kind of identify overbought and oversold situations. So it's another tool. They're called price momentum oscillators. Ooh, there's a fancy name. But the point here is really, when you see downward pointing lines, maybe cool your jets. And when you see upward pointing lines, okay, maybe start to get bullish again. It's really that simple. So, interesting battle there at the end of the summer. Usually the end of the summer, there's like a profit taking window in a lot of the shit coins and stuff that they pump up. We always say they don't call it the fall for nothing, September, October. So turns out, and especially in the COVID world, I guess it kind of makes sense that the bear just didn't really get going too much in earnest through all the Fakazi, Burr, all that kind of stuff. So coming out of that consolidation, boom, up we go, and up we go hard. I did find this fascinating, right? If you do funny little Faugenbaums. Ironically enough, folks, we're not done yet. Look at that. Where the hell's that? $50,680. I got a funny feeling into this summer. That's probably where we have to go to. This is probably a really good analogy of why it's probably not a good idea to get into the business of predicting the future and just sort of, just ride with the punches, roll with the punches. I was actually fully prepared to buy another put option for my insurance plan here, right? And I bought a put option here, so obviously that put expired worthless. But is it okay if I'm long a bunch of Bitcoins to forego the insurance policy? If that happens, I think so. I mean, it makes me feel better. So, yesterday, I've got a fun little trading group, a couple buddies of mine here locally that we trade these Deribit options out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, because we're legally allowed to here. We had the reload zone stab, and then we had this funny 2-bar candle pattern, which is uglier than sin. Because literally, this is a trading range, top of the range, bottom end of the range. And you can see, what was fascinating was that this opening candle yesterday was right in a speed bump, right in here. And literally for about, maybe about 6 hours, price just sat there. Right in that speed bump. And I even put a tweet out saying, okay, we either puke out here and lose the speed bump, and then my chin's going to take another punch in the nose like students remember from class, or we resolve bullishly and bust up through these highs. Well, I mean, you can see what happened. According to this logic, next key resistance looks to be up around 47. And then this Gann angle, which probably corresponds with that Foggenbaum. Yeah, there's Foggy up here. He kind of wants to get tagged somewhere up in this area here. And, you know, it's interesting because I do think that this cycle here is a consolidation cycle. So it's not like I'm sitting there going, yeah, I think we got a whole new bull market here. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this. It's a big honking sideways. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. The irony of this is a perfect analogy for the hodlers, right? I was telling the good people on the site, my son, because all of you actually donated Bitcoin to his his fund back in here when Bitcoins were relatively cheap. And I've just never touched anything there. My son's actually a pretty wealthy individual. It's just kind of funny. But the only reason why I put that together was if his medical funding by the good people, the good citizens of the country of Canada falls through, then he's got an emergency fund. So that was the purpose of it in my eyes, and it'll just stay that way. I mean, maybe Bitcoin goes to $1 million, and Liam's one of the richest kids in the special needs community. Who knows? But anyway, way to go, Liam. You're awesome. Could I justify coming in on the buy side on Bitcoins here? No, you know that. There's no way in hell I can do that. But hey, let's just keep taking this thing higher. Higher. I think I showed you there a few minutes ago. Like I'm long a ton of this crypto stock. And of course I'm long a ton of altcoins and stuff. What's so funny is the little garbage can. And I remember I took a lot of shit from people for not taking profits on the last cycle. I won't show the account on the screen because I've done that before. And people are like, hey, Brian, you know, that's got your personal information on it. But let's see if I can just do a screenshot of it. Where the hell's the damn account? It's right there somewhere. Are you over there? No, I don't. Oh, there you are. You're over there. Hey, there's the Binance account. That algo, what a perfect analogy of crypto, right? Well, anyway, what I was going to show you was that silly Trex account's about 150, 160 Gs. And that's just the garbage, which is so funny. Okay, so point I wanted to make here was the altcoins are having one hell of a go of it. You know, obviously with Ethereum being front and center, this is a little bit concerning, folks. I was wondering yesterday, this pullback surprised me a little bit. And then I was wondering, okay, well, maybe this is a sell the rumor. And if they really dumped it down hard, then it might be like a buy the news, right? Maybe if we got a nice test of these lows. Didn't really get too much Wyckoff check test of value high. So this is like more of a trade than anything else to me. But this is the event date here. Bang, right, today. And what I noticed was they brought this futures contract out last night through the Globex session. And through Globex, you get some kind of funny price action. And that was last night there. So they brought it back down. And you notice that on that open, the corn was kind of like, I don't know. Should we top out here? There's a little bit of an empire there. Came back down. Looks like we tagged the top of the gap here. And then the market put in this engulfing bar saying, oh, I want to rock and roll. And I think what happened there was, right, beep, they break this thing out. And now everybody's like, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So the thing comes out. Looks clearly like somebody sold right out of the gate. The market dumped. And then there was just no more business. Right? Nobody really wanted to do anything. So then, you know, this is the only business they always say. If you're not going to do any business at a level, you know for damn sure they're going to take the market to a place where people will want to do business. So I think that's exactly what happened here. And of course, the corn, they love that. Woohoo! Up we go. Here is the New York Open, right? The retail open. Beep! Right here. So this is sort of the official opening of retail trade. I'm not quite sure. Does that start there? I think it's here or here. I don't know, somewhere in there. And of course, we always say 7:30 is usually the best time to hunt for sort of reversals in the market. Look at this beautiful inside bar, then a nice little doji candle here, and then boom. Uh-oh. So you really didn't want to see the market lose this low. What's that low there? 43.80. Traded down to 43.100, 43.90, and we're trying to hold in here. So my hunch is we lose that 43.80 level. It means that there's some profit taking coming in here. And here's the problem, folks. Can you really, can you justifiably make the argument that Mr. Vitalik himself would be happy with Ethereum prices up here? The computer for the masses, all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I don't think so. What is driving this? And I think to a certain degree it's all this stuff, right? The DeFi market. People are more than happy to pay like very, very high transaction costs just to get the deal done in DeFi land. I don't know whether that's sustainable over time. I don't know. Caveat emptor. If you play in this DeFi space, you should look at all these charts anyway and go, well, you know what? This is getting a little nosebleedy. Be careful. Look how close we came to objectives here. I don't know. Maybe this Kusama's got to come right back down, eat that tail. Totally possible. Even Link, there's the low there. There's the high. We're just now coming back to 50% levels. That stake, hell, he had a pretty big bump up. We could come back down against here. This YFI story is going the wrong way. What the fuck's going on there? So, I don't know. Like I said, caveat emptor. I have to say, though, at the same time, though, man, there are some really, really good-looking altcoin stories. This is a list that one of our OGs put together. His name's Dave over in the UK. TRI site members know him as Dave M. And you can see the ones that have little blue icons by them. I think they're totally buyable right here. And there are, I'm working bids on some of these trying to get in. I hope I don't get left behind. But, I'd much rather take a real good look at a story like that that's just now breaking out here on good volume and good momentum rather than coming in and chase a Bitcoin here. Or like Ethereum. Or like this EOS. You can see the W's. Clearly somebody's coming in here. You can see the turn in OBV. You can see the turn in momentum. We scroll out. You go, has this thing got any room to move up here if it gets its act together? So this is the kind of place I would prefer to take a bet in the market. Then, of course, I got my sentimental names. I was working a cool bid on this Augur. It came out of the gate, and I just worked a bit against the bottom end of the range. I got filled when it dumped. Looks like we're actually getting some saucer bottomy type action here, so I've gone and picked up a bit more of this. This is kind of a name that, nobody in the public's talking about this. When this thing's going apeshit, that's when, of course, everybody's going to be talking about it. If I picked up some here and here, then my average is in here. I get a nice rally into these wicks, and I get that free position established, which I love. So that's the kind of stuff I do. I'm an oddball. I was telling... Jamie was talking to the community here today, and he was kind of saying, I like to have a little basket of stocks, a few names. I'm not like Brian. And I interrupted and I said, hey, look I'm a weirdo. I'm the exception. I'm not the norm in this world. I just do things very differently than most people. So you want to concentrate on 3 or 4 names, get to really know the stories, and then, hunt them W's and just sit patiently. And, really track your individual names. That's the smart way to do this. Brian just wanting to own everything. Well, that's just Brian and his crazy crack addiction for cheap garbage names. I don't know. But, if I see something that's putting in a W at the bottom end of the range, I want it. I want it. Gimme, gimme, gimme. But that's just Brian. The one coin that's really surprised me through all of this is Digi. Look how Digi has performed here. This is versus dollar. What a beautiful chart. It's surprising. And then versus Bitcoin. Look at that. Beautiful looking chart. So there's some really interesting names out there in the crypto space. It's just, I don't really want to buy the big high flyers. I think there's more money to be made in other places. And so that's how I approach my investing. Kind of like all the junior stocks, right? I was in buying Mara when they were basically giving it away. Considering the stock now is trading $30.53 US. How does this make any sense? I mean, this is the craziness of this stupid world. I'm long from like 37 cents in here. I think it was down in this area. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Right? Right? I don't know. Maybe it does make sense to you. I mean, this is this crazy world. How can this happen so quickly? But I force myself just to come in when people are just throwing this shit away and they don't care about it. And then when it does this, I just force myself to be on the sell side and spoon feeding the market. That's what I do. I'd love to show you how I do it and how I set myself up to do this. If you feel like it, feel free to consider joining the site. And as I said today, our site, oh geez, now it's getting to the point where now we have like niche participants on the site, and there's a million different ways to skin the cat. So how the hell do we have people watching this, Kevin? Did you know that there are people in here watching this right now? I just looked over at my screen. What are you guys doing there? You're not even supposed to be here right now. Oh, well, what the hell. These guys in this silly interneting, I swear, they're probably in my underpants right now. Okay, I gotta shut the hell up. Have yourselves a great day. All the best, and goodbye. Bye.